How's it going, everybody? It's the Sketch Monkey here with a brand new sketching video for you. In this video, we're going to talk about speed forms and what is speed forms and why are they a good exercise, I guess. So these are a few speed forms that I've done before. This is what I call speed form, at least. And of course, Rosie, want to say hello. So hi, Rosie. Nice to meet you. And get tangled in all my cords. So these are speed forms, some of my earlier ones, and I like to sketch on toned paper every now and then because you're gonna get the highlights really popping, since it's already it's like doing Photoshop. I always start with a gray background, that way I can use both black and white and make the white really pop, as you can see here on the highlights. So anyway, in this video, I think I'm gonna use this weird blue paper. I have a bunch of these that I have to use because it's literally a pile of blue paper that my wife was supposed to use for some project. You can see there's still some glue here or something. But she ended up not using it, so I'm just gonna use it for sketching because otherwise it's just gonna be here and for no reason. So anyway, when you start with speed forms, the idea, first of all, with a speed form is to just get started with sketching. I get this question quite often. How do you find inspiration for new sketches? And how do you get started when you don't know what to sketch? It's really nothing complicated. It's basically just putting down lines on the paper. Lines, circles, curves, what have you, and then try to connect them into some cool shapes. And you know me, I like to start with ellipses because ellipses are just beautiful shapes, and they're also you can mold them into so many different things. So just put down it feels really good sketching right now. I haven't been sketching for a few days and I missed it, so that's a good sign. And from here you kind of want to maybe add some curves to this, maybe connect them somehow. It's all about speed and pretty much have the hand move before your brain can think. So you don't want to have something specific that you want to sketch. That kind of ruins the whole purpose of speed sketching or speed forms. You want to keep the hand moving and come up with shapes and whatever you want as you go. And of course, not take it too seriously. Because if you take it too seriously, you're gonna overthink things and then you're not gonna get the sketches done. And this is a really good exercise if you have sketcher's block or something like that. Like I have for a couple of days here, just to get back into sketching. Just put down some lines. That is the key to get back into it. And also rotate the paper so that you have a comfortable angle for the lines that you're putting down. For example, on this line here, it's uncomfortable to make the curve upside down like this because it's not the natural movement of the hand. So what you want to do is just rotate the paper, and then all of a sudden you have this the correct side of the curve facing you, and that way you can get cleaner lines. So this looks like an interesting shape here. We can probably do something with this. I'm just gonna add like maybe something, an ellipse back here. And connect it. Why not? Interesting. We can maybe make some, maybe connect this in a weird way. See, now is a good time to not have engineers around, because they would think, bro, this is not gonna, you're not gonna be able to mold this thing. Well, good thing we're not gonna be molding anything here. We're just gonna be sketching some cool stuff. So no worries, no worries. Just get the lines down. I'm starting some reflections here. Maybe not reflections, this is just lines to help myself understand the shape of this thing. Maybe smooth out this transition here. Add some line weight if you want to do that. So there we have one speed form, and now my brain is kind of starting to fire up and get more ideas on what I can sketch. And sometimes this takes one sheet of paper to get started, sometimes it takes 10. It totally depends on the how you feel about sketching at the moment, I guess. But you should always be able to get to the point where you're starting to get new ideas. Let's make a new shape down here. This time we're gonna start with a line, and then we can maybe have a line cross like that. Maybe a curve like this. Cut it like this. This is not gonna be... I don't like parallel lines, so I don't want this line to be the same length as this line, because dynamically it's not gonna look good. So I'm gonna cut it probably... See, now I'm starting to overthink here, instead of just putting down some lines. Maybe we can make some graphics in this shape. So, let's see. Something like that. Definitely a speed form here. It's also a good exercise for line quality, obviously, because you're making a lot of lines and also trying to connect the lines. Not sure if making a vertical line here is gonna ruin the dynamic of this sketch, maybe, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's kind of like an interesting sculpture or whatever. So we have one more angular and sharp sketch down here, and more of a organic fluid thing up there. So let's start by adding some markers to this. Good thing we have a toned paper. That's gonna make it a lot easier to get the shading on here. I just picked the first kind of gray I found, which is a warm gray 4. Seems to be all right. Hopefully, hopefully it's not too dry. I think we're good. This is kind of optional if you want to add markers to this, but since I'm on a toned paper, I'm really looking forward to adding the white highlights to this. So I'm gonna add some markers first to get the contrast up. You don't really need a lot of markers to get the idea down. You just need a few lines like this, and that's pretty much it. And this was this whole video was not planned, so I didn't know what I was gonna I had no idea what I was gonna sketch when I started this. So it's kind of real-time ideation, I guess. Just come up with shapes like this. I think that's enough for that one, at least for the the warm gray 4. If I have a warm gray 2 here somewhere, that would be perfect. Let's see. Got a warm gray 5, warm gray 7. There we go, warm gray 1. That works. What about 2? Give me a 2. Where are you, man? I need to organize my markers a little bit better. Here we go. Here's a 3, perfect. It's a Copic though. So maybe the shade is different. Weird. Not sure this is even gonna show when this dries. Guess we'll find out. There we go. That was the that was the first. What was this? Warm gray 1. That was the first shape. Now we're gonna do the same on the sharper shape down here. Let's see how this goes. And I think I'm gonna fill this whole thing in because it's beneath the main surface, so I think it's going to cast a shadow on the thing that's below it. At least that's the idea with that line there, with the markers. Let's see what this is. I'm not sure. I have to figure that one out. Let's add some big to this so I understand what's going on. Yeah, I can maybe make it something like that. Like an arm stretching forward. I'm gonna come back with a big line later to add the line weight and all of that good stuff. Don't want to do it right now because, as you know, markers on big lines tend to mess things up sometimes. If you use your markers too many times on top of the bic, so want to keep the bic to a minimum until I'm done with the markers. Kind of like that last line there. Let's go back to warm gray 3. It looks like it's just like it doesn't have a warm tone to it. It just makes the paper wet, so it has this blue tone to it. But as you can see here, when it dries, you can see that it's a warm gray. It's kind of interesting to sketch on toned paper like this. You get some weird results sometimes. All right, what do we want to do now? I think I'm gonna go back to the bic and add some line weight to this. So line weight, as you know, is a way of adding depth to your sketches, even if you just have one single bic pen, or any pen for that matter. What you can do is add, you can adjust the thickness of different lines. So the lines that are in the shade, you want to make those thicker and kind of fade them out like this, like I'm doing right here. I'm gonna fade it out until it disappears in the original line. And now we have some some more depth to this. It's a very simple way if you don't have markers, for example. If you want to add some depth to your sketches and contrast, this is a great way of doing that. But, I mean, you can still do it like I'm doing right now. Even if you're using markers, then it's just kind of like an added bonus to add line weight to your sketches. Something like that. And I like these cut lines too. Gonna add some more big to those in a minute. First I'm gonna take care of the basics. Basic baselines. Baselines are the lines that are at the bottom of a sketch. So, for example, if you're sketching a product, these are obviously not products. These are just shapes. They can be floating, or they can be flying, or they can be sitting on something. But if you have a product that you wanna plant on a surface, a good idea is to add to make the baseline the thickest line. And that line is the line that is the edge that is closest to the surface in which the product is sitting on, if that makes sense. Man, it's been a while since I sketched speed forms. It's a lot of fun actually to just do, because you're when you do this, you're practicing every single aspect of sketching. So you're practicing line weight, line quality, markers, without having the pressure of having it to look like something that exists, if that makes sense. I'm gonna have this line connect with this baseline like that. Kind of have a smoother transition. What else? What other base or line weight do we have on this one? I think I'm gonna make this kind of like a, not just a reflection, but a different, a design feature of this thing here. That's why I'm defining this line more. And I guess we could add some thickness to this line as well, even though it's kind of tilted that way, which means that it's facing the light source more than these lines that are facing all the way down. So it doesn't have to be as thick as the rest of the lines. Cool. Same thing on this one. Just clean it up. This is what I meant by waiting to go in with the Bic again until you're done with the markers. You can always go back and clean sketches like this. And I actually like how it looks on this blue paper. Warm gray, I guess, works well with cooler shade of paper. Makes sense. This was already a thick line, so I'm just gonna fill it in properly to make it look like it was intended, even though it kinda wasn't. this is the baseline for this object. And it should be the thickest one, but since the line above this is already so thick, I kind of don't want to have two competing lines that are the exact same thickness. So I'm gonna try to differentiate them a little here, if possible. Looks kind of cool. Don't think I'm gonna go all the way with this line. Even though it is a baseline, I'm not gonna continue the thickness all the way to this point, because I want it to fade out here since it's the end of the product and it's supposed to be a speed form. So an abrupt ending of a thick line here is just gonna look weird. So instead, I'm gonna go ahead and fade it out. Start thick over here and then slowly just stop somewhere there, like that. So we have actually 2 steps left. I'm gonna go in now first with some line shading with the pen, and then we're gonna jump into the favorite part, which is adding the highlights with the white Posca pen. Like that. I'm gonna add some on this thing down here as well. Where else? Could possibly add some down here if we want to. I'm not sure. Since I didn't add it here, I'm not gonna add a lot down here. I think I'm just gonna keep it like that. It looks good. And this spot here is what I wanted to do earlier. Just add line weight in here. Or line shading, I mean. One of our foster kittens are currently under my chair and playing with a toy. I think you can hear it. They've been sleeping all day, so I guess they have a lot of energy right now. Also add some down here. Just fade it out like this. Some random stuff going on right there. All right, let's bring out the Uni Posca pen. It's a must-have for anybody who does any type of sketching at all. You gotta have this pen. And all the tools are, as always, linked in the description below. If you want to go get them, you can get them there. You gotta shake it up first. So now, this is the part where it's really important to think about light source. You want to have, and light. You want to think about light source and the material. What kind of material are you sketching? I like to do things shiny because it's just a lot of fun to play around with this pen, and if it's matte, I won't be able to use this. And just put some burn points on the edges that are facing the light source. It works well on this blue paper as well. I thought maybe it's not going to be visible, as visible as sketching on the brown paper, but I mean you can still see it pretty clearly here. Looks cool. Oh, don't want to mess it up. It's probably not dry yet. Let's see, where else? Down here. This is gonna be interesting. Because I need to do, let's see, I need to do this line right here. Like that. I mean, we can go crazy if we want to, so if I were to go crazy, I would add some lines just in the middle of this shape as well. So something like this. And let's see. Gonna add up here, obviously. Also wanna, I don't think it's dry yet, but I wanna put a burn point right there. There we go. Cool. Let's move on to the sharp shape at the bottom. So same thing here. I'm just gonna add the white highlights on the parts that are facing up. And this makes such a big difference. Just this pen. These few lines you put down with the white pen just makes everything pop more, and that's what I'm talking about, using the full spectrum from black, which is the big pen, to full white, which is obviously this pen right here. And when you do that, your sketches are gonna pop so much more than if you were just using gray tones, for example. I mean, the trade-off is that if you make a mistake, it's a little bit harder to maybe fix it because the contrast is so strong. But the reward when you get it right, it's definitely worth it. I think that's it for this shape. There aren't really any surfaces that are facing up here. Maybe some more in the front. Could use some. I don't know. Anywhere else? There we go. There we go. So I think we're done. That was a kinda quick way of getting started with sketching. I see that this took 30 minutes, even though it felt like 10. So maybe it wasn't the quickest way of getting started with sketching, but then again, I like to keep my big lines clean, so that's gonna take a little bit longer than if I were just to throw some lines down. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am the Sketch Monkey, and if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoyed it. And you can, if you're looking for other types of sketching videos, I have a bunch on pretty much anything in regards to sketching, I guess. Perspective, we have a bunch of core sketches. Just go through the channel and see if you find some cool stuff. And yeah, I will see you next time. Thanks again for watching, and take it easy.